Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to Versus Series. A member of my team, Acebreakers, faces off against a well-known up-and-coming pro player. For this week from Acebreakers, we have Rarest facing off against Raven from London Conspiracy. Now, Raven used to be on Infuse, but after they broke up, London Conspiracy formed their team with a couple of the players from Infuse, and Raven ended up on that particular team. So it's really interesting to see what kind of punch we get out of some of those players. Now, before we get started, spectator mode was completely broken this week. It's incredibly glitchy. I now know there is a way of spectating two people at once, but even when I did, it still doesn't really work. So as a result, we are watching Rarest's perspective, and Raven recorded his hands, and I've got that set up at the top. Now, as a disadvantage of this, they're a couple seconds out, and a bit smaller than normal, so bear with me that they're 2 to 3 seconds out of sync. I did get it as close as I could. And, well, I mean, besides that, being half the size, it actually doesn't matter, because it's probably still easier to read than it is in spectator mode normally, because upside down is annoying. So, keep in mind this is best of 5 conquest. The 3 classes being used by Rarest are Hunter, Paladin, and Mage, with Raven using Hunter, Mage, and Druid being the difference there. We will talk a little bit about the deck list since I do have them up when there's some dead time in between games. So, on to the first game. Would you have Hunter versus Druid? So we've got the Hunter on the side of Rarest. Now, this particular Hunter list is a complete face Hunter running a random flare, which I find very, very funny, and also a Leroy Jenkins. So we've got a blast from the past in terms of this face Hunter. This is not hybrid, this is pure face. Now on the other side, we've got Raven playing Taunt Druid with a single combo. As we can see, there is in fact a Sunwalker in his hand. This should be interesting. This should be very heavily advantaged in Raven's favor, but it often depends on the healing drawn and whether or not he can set up taunts and healing at the same time. On the flip side of things, we did have a very strong start on Rarest's part here. Getting that free trap, it's explosive, as that is the only trap he's actually running is explosive, so he gets that free trigger on his bow for absolutely 0 cost whatsoever since he got it off his Mad Scientist Death Rattle. So he can attack with that. He's got the 4 mana now. Bit awkward that he has to waste a mana here. I think you just want to go for the Mad Scientist and Hero Power? Yeah. Being very mana efficient, doesn't want to miss any damage. That Leopardon would deal 2 damage regardless, so you might as well just get the extra Hero Power in there. That's a mistake that's often done with pure face Hunter. Hybrid Hunter is a bit more forgiving because you can make mistakes, as we see that Harrison Jones coming down and taking out that bow, which is very, very handy. But Hybrid Hunter is a bit more forgiving because you have things like High Main, which deal large amounts of damage in one shot. However, with face Hunter, you really need to maximize your damage. Doesn't come up every game, but some games you're just one-off lethal, and that 1 damage would have come from some other optimization in your play. So, this abusive, let's see, that Harrison may be traded here. I don't think so. Let's see, he might trade it because he can play the bow and the Leopardon. The problem is you're missing 4 damage and you have Leroy in your hand, so I think I'd actually just go face with this. Play the Leopardon, go face, and just deal as much damage as possible at once. Alright, so in terms of Raven's setup, what he has in his hand, he does have the Ancient Allure for healing. He's got a Druid of the Claw into Sunwalker and Sonaris later on in the game, so very well set up in terms of the taunts. That may win him the game, just these continuous taunts which function as pseudo-healing unless he has kill commands or quick shots. Even then, it's still a lot to get through this ridiculous amount of taunt. Speaking of quick shots, now he can actually get in a quick shot Wolf Rider to kill this, or he can just use his bow and use the Wolf Rider. I would use the Wolf Rider because it's slightly more mana efficient. Quick shot can be more easily used when you have extra mana. So I would actually use the Wolf Rider and Hero Power. You've got that Leroy, so having Leroy Quickshot is more effective, as yes, he does go for that. Slightly more optimal play. Ooh, I don't agree with quickshotting this though. I really don't agree with that. I think just trading and then hitting face was better. You get 3 damage here, but then you just used up 3 damage, so I don't know. In the end it doesn't do much, but let's see. This is the same mana efficiency. You do miss a hero power by doing this though, so I think I disagree with that play. We'll see if it does make a difference though. Now, in terms of healing, Raven does have a bit of an issue where the only healing he has is Ancient Allures. There's no heal bots in this deck, there's no Earthmark Farseers, so he only has Ancient Allures for healing. So he's in a bit of a rough spot right now. He has to use Swipe here so he just doesn't die. But then this Explosive will kill the Harrison, so he has to attack first with Harrison. He's pretty sure it's Explosive, so he has to attack first with Harrison. You definitely attack first with Harrison. Just saying. Oh. Going for the taunt then. Okay, going for that Sunwalker. Interesting. Alright. So, that hero power, if he had that extra hero power, he'd take his opponent to 1 this turn, and he would have won the game. Yeah, I think he would have. Does he have enough damage? Yeah, he would have won the game. Misplay on, let's see, what do you won the game? He would have had 8 life instead, and Leroy, well, I mean, you want to go Leroy here, but Leroy Abusive, or, yeah, Leroy Abusive would have taken him, would have taken that Sunwalker out, and then Quick Shot this turn. Actually, he gets the extra hero power in, but he could Quick Shot next turn to win. No. So in the end, yeah, he would have 4 life. He would have 4 life instead of the 6 after the Quick Shot. Yeah, he would have had 4 life, which puts him to 2, but then he can hero power, and the Explosive will eventually kill him. So yeah, he would have won a turn faster if this goes the way I think it is. This is just going to be hero power, and the Explosive will eventually kill him. There's no Ancient Allure here, so I don't think he's going to get himself out of this one. But yeah, that hero power misplay actually will give him an extra turn, though. Yeah, so he's going to go up to 5, whereas he would be on 3. Going to be hero power down to 3 instead of hero power down to 1. Yeah, he got an extra turn out of this. Alright, so let's see if he top decks an extra healing in the next 2 turns. If he gets another set of healing in the next 2 turns, then this will be quite punishing. Going for that Azure Drake. What he's just trying to do right now is just stay alive long enough so that he can get... Oh, that healing is there! He has the healing. Can he get himself out of this position? He may be able to actually kill him. I mean, he does have a lot of lethal draws here. Oh. Yep, Huffer. So, Huffer, Unleash will deal 1 to the face. Yeah, he would have won on this turn if he had hero powered earlier. This is not a guaranteed win though, because that Ancient Allure will heal him back up. The Ancient Allure will give him a couple of extra turns. He goes to 1. So close, but that Ancient Allure heal will put him back up to 6, and then the hero power puts him up to 7. Which, unless there's some big... there's a force of nature, this could actually get very scary very quickly. We'll see if that misplay costs him. Oh, the Arcane Golem taking him back to 1, and that will be the game, because there's no other healing in this entire deck. The Arcane Golem top deck will win him the game here. There's no other healing, and that's an explosive, so he can't attack and he can't do anything. Going for that Wrath. There's nothing he can draw though, it doesn't actually matter. Just drawing through the deck to kind of prolong this out a bit. But yeah, there's nothing left in the deck that can actually save him here. So we'll go on to game number 2 as he calls the well played and concedes. Maybe he was thinking, is there any Kazan in that list? No, no Kazan either. So with that, we'll head on to game number 2 with Raven getting taken out on that first game. Now, Rarest has switched over to a Mage list. What Mage list is this? That's a freeze card, but that's also a duplicate. Interesting, what is this? Alright, let's pull up the list here, because I am very curious. Alright, so it looks like a freeze mage list, but it's running no Alexstrasza, and Cold Lights, Nobles, one duplicate, Echo, and Sorcerer's Apprentice. Is this an infinite Fireball deck? This is an infinite Fireball deck. As we have in the background a turn 3 Boom. Classic turn 3 Dr. Boom, which is going to completely wreck him here. But I'm very excited to see if he can win with the combo at any point in this series. This is dire straits though. So I don't know if he can get himself out of this position. This is a really bad start for Rarest. Unfortunately, he has no way of dealing with this. Are there any polymorphs in this deck? There is a solitary polymorph, and there's also Doomsayers, which will deal with this if he top decks a Doomsayer. So this is basically a freeze mage control deck, but it's focused more on getting an infinite combo as opposed to freeze mage, which is just playing burn as a win condition. So this is a pure combo deck. Now the weakness of combo decks is that one, they're very hard to execute, as we see that top deck Doomsayer exactly when he needs it. Let's see if we get a top deck Keeper to completely seal out this game. Now the problem with combo decks is they take a long time to go off. Let's see, what does he actually need? He needs both Sorcerer's Apprentice or one to get duplicated. So he needs both Sorks, he needs at least one Echo. Yeah, he needs both Sorks, he needs an Echo or a duplicate into an Echo, and then he needs Archmage and another spell. That will give him infinite fireballs because the 4 Sorks reduce the spell costs by 1. Now, you can't play that all in one turn being the main problem. However, Thorazan allows you to. So if he gets Thorazan on the board for 1 turn, and it reduces 4 Sorks, so he can get 2 Sorks down, Echo, play those 2 Sorks and Echo, which gives him 4 Sorks, and then he can play Thorazan, which reduces them all to 1 cost, reduces Archmage Antonius to 6, which allows you to play all 5 minions in 1 turn, and then at that point you just win the game. You just get infinite fireballs to win. That's the combo the deck is trying to execute. It sounds like it's a very hard combo to execute, though, as we see Raven saying, "I don't care about your stupid combo." Although I think he just thinks he's playing against Freeze Mage at this point with a Novice Engineer. It's been a while since I've seen a Novice Engineer actually. That Cold Light comes out. Now he may know what's up if he's played against this kind of deck before, although I can guarantee most people haven't. But yeah, Raven is not going to let him just sit around drawing cards for the entire game. He is going to attempt to just flat out kill him. We do see Sonaria's coming down with that buff. It's going to be so hard to come back from this. I actually don't think it's possible. He needs another Doomsayer. Yeah, see him counting cards. He can't go for that Cold Light because he'll overdraw, I think. Would he have overdrawn? Yes. Well, this sends him up to 9 cards. This will put him up to 10. And then he's going to Frost Nova at the end of this turn. There's actually so much card draw in this deck that I don't even know if he can... It's going to be interesting that this deck's biggest enemy, by the looks of it, is overdrawing. Because, while a lot of it doesn't look like draw... Wait, did someone just take 8 damage? What? Anyway, yeah, he just traded in there. Looked away for a second there. But, this deck has a lot of things that don't look like draw, but they actually are, like Duplicate and Echo. They still put things in your hand, and it's going to be a bit complicated to play. Yeah, I'm just talking a bit more about the deck for future games, because this game does not look good. As we see that Duplicate gets popped. Oh boy. Filling his hand up to full, and he doesn't even get the second Novice. As yeah, we see him, he's at 10 cards. And the other problem is, giving a Druid a million cards is not a good thing. As you see, how many cards is that? 8? Yep, I just moused over while doing this. So, yep, that's an 8 card Thorazan drop there. That's crazy. And there goes a Sork. I think that's impossible to come back from now. He needs to go Sork, Echo, Echo to get... Like, Sork, Echo, that's 4, but then none of them can die. So he can't go infinite one turn, as yeah, he just concedes. There's pretty much no way out of this anyway. So we see Raven taking a game back as the combo deck completely stumbles on itself versus a Druid, which just puts out threat after threat after threat and just pounds him into the ground. Now, we've got Raven coming out with his Hunter list, and just based off opening hand, I can say this is a hybrid Hunter playing Abusive, Glaive Zuka, and a Highmane, a Golden Highmane no less. So this is hybrid Hunter facing off against a Paladin list. Now, Rarest has been known to play Dragon Paladin. In fact, he's been playing Dragon Paladin since BRM came out. Now, this particular Dragon Paladin has a lot of very strange things in it, which make it not necessarily a cut above the rest, but definitely a weird one to play against. We've got that Glaive Zuka, perfect counter to that 3-2, buffs up his Haunted Creeper, which has become a menace now, and means that he can just take it out for free. As we see the very hilarious Aldor, the 2-2 down to a 1-2 that used to be a 1-2. Here comes the Mad Scientist and the Abusive Sergeant. Now the question is, will he trade? Not going for the trade. The question is, do you trade there? I think the better play was to just focus less on going face and just kill the Aldor with the Haunted Creeper and the Glaive Zuka, because otherwise you get 3 for 1 by Consecrate. So now that Glaive Zuka Haunted Creeper combo only took out 1 card for free, basically, which puts him in an awkward spot. Now, what kind of trap setup is he playing here? He's got 2 freezings, so they're both guaranteed to be freezings whenever he has a trap. Yes, that gets freezinged, and he goes for that True Silver by the looks of it. Stampeding Kodo, interesting tech card. Kodo is a card which veers in and out of Paladin play, and the reason for it is because Aldor Peacekeeper allows you to make anything die to a Kodo. Kodo in itself has a lot of targets. However, you can Aldor Kodo to assassinate anything in the game and also give you a 3-5 and a 3-3. It is a 2-card combo though, so a bit inconsistent, but both of those cards are strong enough on their own in some metagames to make up for it. And with the amount of Hunters running around, I can definitely see why the Kodo has come out to play. Oh, having to go for that quick shot, but this hand is just all burn. There's nothing else in there apart from burn, as we're going to see an anti-Keelbot come down, and the top deck on one of the weird and wonderful dragon tech cards in this deck, Deathwing. I don't think Deathwing is coming down to play in this particular game, but there is a Deathwing. There's also an Onyxia and a Nefarian. That's 3 late game drops. You see that Aldor. The funny thing is, when I was recording this, I was thinking his hand must be terrible if he has to play a Highmane into an Aldor that he knows is there. And now I can see, yes it is. It's double kill command, unleash the hounds. This is one of the worst hands I've seen in a very long time. It looks very powerful, but oh, there's the top deck Shredder. If he hadn't got that Shredder, he would be in dire straits right now with nothing to play. Now, we could just see him take out this Highmane. Interesting. So, he's got a Healbot And he's got a second heal bot. There are 2 heal bots in this particular deck, which makes it very, very good against all these aggressive decks. And yeah, it looks like he's going to take out this high main completely. Question is, with what? What's his plan here? He can take them both out with the 3/3s and then play Boom, or maybe Loa Theb? I think I'd play Boom this turn, personally. Lotheb doesn't do you much good this turn. I think Boom would have been better there. It's more mana efficient. Well, actually, no, it's exactly the same. But it's definitely more aggressive, and stopping spells that turn doesn't matter as much. The most damage you could have done would be like a Unleash Quick Shot Kill Command. Granted, that's 13, 17, but then you got anti-kill bot, so I think that's fine. And most of the burn is gone. So, slight error there, but this is still pretty good. He's taking a lot of damage, though. I think I'd be very, very worried. Going all the way down to 11. There's a cannon. He's just going to trade into that to reduce his Unleash. Yeah, this is the big question. Do you use the sword or the 3/3? I think I'd rather go face with the sword and then just kill it with the 3/3. That reduces... It also gives you basically lethal next turn, I think. Let's see, the sword does 8 total, bringing him down to 8, which gives you lethal next turn. So I think I'd hit the face with the sword. Whereas you miss 1 damage, but you also give him an extra Unleash. And Unleash kills 2 of your guys anyway, whereas you don't need... Yeah, you don't need all that damage. Basically, this is just better against Unleash and gives you a more surefire lethal. But you still have to go for the Unleash. Unleash Kill Command Loatheb seems not reasonable in any way, actually. It seems like a losing play, but I think that's what he has to go for. That double heal bot did so much work. Healing for 16. He'd be on 5 right now. In fact, he can actually deal straight up, what, 15 to the face? He can deal 10 to the face, plus he could deal 16 damage right now. So even without that second heal bot, he wouldn't have been able to... that second heal bot would have done it. But this deck has an absurd amount of healing in it. It's also playing Lay on Hands. Just get your head around that one. It's playing Lay on Hands and 2 anti-kill bots. That is an absurd amount of healing. As we do see, the deck's namesake, Dragon Consort. Interestingly enough about this deck is that it's actually not playing... any of the Blackwing cards. The only dragon synergy it has in here is Dragon Consort, and it uses that to power out its entirely late game dragon threats, Nefarian, Onyxia, and Deathwing. No Chromagus either. So yeah, interesting take on Dragon Paladin, something we haven't really seen before, and maybe something to look into. Just being able to power out those super late game dragon threats with that 5/5. But yeah, that absurd amount of healing as he finishes the game on 16 life. So the healing definitely won him the game there. It turns out to be a very bad matchup for the Hunter. Now, keep in mind this is Conquest, which means Rarest is going to have to win with this crazy combo deck against a Hunter. Now, I'm not particularly familiar with this matchup, obviously, but just looking at deck lists, we have got a single anti-heal bot. Now that anti-heal bot can be duplicated or echoed, so he does have more than one. He also has the ice barriers to call on, but I feel like this is going to be a bit sketchy. This may be slightly sketchy on the side of Rarest here. You see James just specking and unspecking immediately. So there is ice barriers. Let's see if there's any anti-secret in Raven's Hunter list. There's no anti-secret. That makes this a lot harder. Now, in terms of this turn, he's got a couple options. He can Glaive Zuka to kill it. He can go Animal Companion, hoping it is either Misha or Leok. Keep in mind, he does know that he's playing against some sort of control mage. He doesn't know the combo, though. He can guess, though, from the Cold Light Oracle's last game. Oh, getting that Huffer. Huffer does deal 4 damage, but not too much besides that. We do see him starting to draw into those nice combo pieces. Now that secret could be either Duplicate, Ice Block, or Ice Barrier. Not likely to be Ice Block or Duplicate though, because there's only one elves left in the deck. Whereas he does have that that double Ice Barrier still in the deck. Goes to that Cold Light Oracle. Cold Light Oracle drawing him into more card draw. Now, giving a Hunter card draw is not a good thing, as he's going to start taking ludicrous amounts of damage from these extra cards coming from Raven. I would say this matchup is in the Hunter's favor, although, as I said, I can't really say from experience, simply because I have not played this particular Mage. Those two Cold Light Oracles, oh, there's three now. That's actually not good. He's got so much card draw in his deck. I mentioned this earlier with the overdrawing. He's at the moment, Rarest has 9 cards in hand with 4 3-mana draw spells in hand. Well, 3 of them are creatures technically, but yeah. Now on the flip side, we've got Raven piling on the pressure as next turn he has a Highmane coming down with a kill command for finishing out the game. So he may find himself in a winning position rather quickly if this keeps going. As we've got Rarest under an absurd amount of pressure right now from this Hunter, which can be expected considering Cold Light Oracles are very, very good when your opponent plays them for a Hunter player. Using up that Frost Nova, there are 3 freezes in hand right now. Going straight for that Highmane as expected. Yes, we've got a little bit of a delay on the hand there. There is a second Highmane which can be used next turn. Now that is a Doomsayer that could potentially be used. Now, if you're going to go for Doomsayer this turn, you should definitely trade the 1/1 into his Highmane or something. And the reason for it is, I think, I trade into Lepronome and then Cone of Cold Doomsayer. And the reason for that is because he can't kill command and Unleash to kill it. He needs to kill command and use Quickshot or something. Whereas now he can use Unleash, build his own board. As you see that Ice Barrier there with Ice Block in hand. But he can use Unleash to clear it with only 2 cards, and he gets to clear Doomsayer and keep his entire board. Also doesn't set up Flame Strike for next turn if this dies, which it doesn't appear to. So he does have that Flame Strike for next turn. Never mind, that's a freezing traps we saw from earlier. This is looking really, really good for Raven here. And there's no massive freezes. He can Flame Strike, but then the Highmane lives. You still have to, though. You Flame Strike first because you're pretty sure there's only freezings in deck. This also allows you to test for any other traps, since he's seen the freezings having played against this deck before in this series. So this Novice is going to get frozen, which is a little bit of an issue because that puts him up to 9 cards and he can't really play the Novice again. The problem with being so high on cards in hand is that his echoes are going to be really bad later on in the game, as he just can't use them. See the Ice Barrier blocking off the entirety of that Highmane attack. 8 healing, very, very useful. But there are 2 Highmanes on the board. The question is, how is he going to deal with this? Oh, there's a Doomsayer! Alright, so you can Hero Power one of them, and then freeze the whole board and Doomsayer. That was a perfect draw. Absolutely perfect draw. That's probably the only thing that would have helped in there. Is there anything else that would have helped? He does have Blizzards in the deck, so he would have been able to Hero Power Blizzard, which actually arguably would have been... No, it would have been worse. It takes less cards, but to be honest at this point, I think you're happy if you can spend cards from your hand if you're on Rarest's perspective. As he is having a few issues with spending the cards in his hand. I think at this point, yeah, he's going for this Arcane Intellect. There is an Antonidas in this deck, and that's what he needs to draw, and so far has not been seen, as we do see a bit of a video glitch on the top there. Just setting up those secrets, trying to stall out a little bit until he gets his anti-heal bot and the rest of his combo cards. But there are 3 Cold Lights in hand, which are never going to be played, from what I can tell. That's a really big issue because you can't play them. They take up hand space, which lessens the potential of your combo plays. So I would still put this game firmly in Raven's park when it comes to who's going to win. It depends a lot on whether or not he can get a anti-heal bot and maybe an echo on an anti-heal bot, which allows him to play it twice. Not in one turn, but it allows him to play it twice over 2 turns, which could be enough to get him out of a ditch. He does have the ice block. There's the Thorazan. Does he go for the Thorazan now, though? Can he Cold Light? No, I don't think he can. He is going to go for this Novice, though. See what he draws. Trying to get that Antonidas. He does get the Blizzard. That's the exact card he needed there. If he can get Antonidas next turn, there's very few cards left in deck, though. He's drawn most of his deck already. Needs to not play any Cold Lights, because Raven can easily kill him off if he gets just a couple of direct damage cards. Taking him down to 2. Keep in mind there is an Ice Block, and by the looks of it, the Ice Block is going to be procced this turn. Now, let's see, how many cards is he on? He is on a total of 9 cards, so he can't sort of attack with this Novice to burn it and then play cards, which, weirdly enough, you would want to burn this Novice up at this point. Alright, so instead he's thinking, he knows this is an explosive because he tested it earlier with that kill on the Mad Scientist, didn't fetch another trap. That's something very, very hard to see sometimes. If you're focused on the game, you don't notice that there's no other traps left in deck. But to be honest, he doesn't even need to attack into an explosive ever again, because this deck usually wins through comboing. Now, that Ice Block did get popped, which means he's in a little bit of trouble right now. Oh, there's another Blizzard. He's going for that Cold Light. He needs an anti-heal bot or something. Echo. Now, he's got a 1 mana. He does have that 1 mana Arcane Intellect he can play. Everything getting reduced in his hand, of course. Very few cards left in deck right now. As we see the anti-heal bot, and Antonidas is the solitary card left in the deck. That's kind of amusing. This is when he can bounce his 1/1. Echo doesn't do much for him here, apart from give him a bunch of extra Sorks. He can try and go for a combo kill next turn. I think that might be what I would do here, is actually just... This does leave you dead to Kazan, though, so that may be a mistake. I would have gone straight for double Sork there. I think I would have gone double Sork and then just pop the freezing and take it out. The reason I would have done that is because you know the last card in your deck, so you could go double Sork, pop the freezing with your Novice Engineer, putting you at 6 minions on board, and then combo kill him next turn. That would have won the game that turn. Now, it wouldn't have worked if he... Let's see, he could have played a 0 mana spell, though, to start. So you could definitely throw down a bunch of fireballs, and it may still be lethal anyway. You could throw down 3 fireballs in a row. Does lose one of those Sorks, and there is the Antonidas. However, he can't play it. He needs to anti-heal bot here. In fact, I think you go anti-heal bot, Let's see, how many cards does he have in hand? He has 10 cards in hand, so I think you attack with the Novice, burn the Novice, get it out of the game. Attack with the Novice, burn the Novice, and then clear off his entire board. And then you can actually go anti-heal bot, Sork, which gives you combo kill next turn. I think that's what you do. Going for that second Thorazan, he's just trying... I think at this point his game plan is just to win the game by attacking with 5/5s. Which does work. This is going to be very close though, because he cannot echo this anti-heal ball because it got played this turn, which means that if he echoes, it's not going to go into his hand. I think he should have definitely tried to burn off that Novice. Whereas instead it's going to go back into his hand. Definitely should have tried to burn that Novice, get it out of the game entirely. I think at this point you actually just start trading off your 3-2s. You're not going to win through combo this game. Very reluctant to go for this combo kill. But as I said, it's very, very easy to make mistakes with this deck. I mean, I can't imagine he has that much practice. As we do see a Loatheb coming down, stopping a combo kill. I think he would have had lethal this turn. Yeah, he could have gone Sork. Yeah, he could have gone Sork, Antonidas, Spell, 3 fireballs. That would have actually been lethal. That's kind of hilarious. So, that Loatheb saving him there. He can't echo because, yeah, if he had burnt that Novice, he'd have a heal bot in his hand right now, and he doesn't have that heal bot now. That Novice Engineer may lose him the game. Let's see, what could he possibly have, though, in terms of top deck? Could he have, I guess he could, in theory, have Leroy, but he doesn't actually have Leroy. Quick Shot Kill Command? I guess? I think he's already played both. Yeah, he can't combo kill this turn. So, couple of mistakes in Rarest field here, which, again, you can't really blame him for, considering he's playing a deck this dynamic. But a couple of mistakes may have lost him the game, depending on what this top deck is. And it is a Piloted Shredder. He immediately concedes. Winning through beatdown as opposed to combo kill. Very disappointing that we never got to see the combo kill there. But Rarest takes the series 3-1 against Raven. Couple interesting games there. Misplays on both sides, as usual. I mean, no one plays Hearthstone perfectly. If anyone tells you that, then they're lying. So we saw misplays on both sides as usual. However, we also saw some very dynamic plays and very sort of strange decks coming out here. We had a huge amount of deck variety. As we had Taunt Druid on Raven's side, which is very uncommon. We had a Dragon Paladin list, and 2 different forms of Hunter, and a combo Mage list. Now, we didn't get to see Raven's last deck, which was a Mage tempo list, playing Flamewakers, and it was also playing things like Double Flame Cannon, even a Mirror Image, and a Ragnaros for the late game. All those decks will be in the description, so if you want to go see what these players were playing, considering they're both very, very good players, very high-level players, then go and check that out in the description below and test some of them out. But anyway, as now, this has been Jotto. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback, put it in the comment section below if you want to ask me any questions. But, as for now, this is Jotto, signing off.